First thing I gotta talk about is that cover art. Y'all know that Luffy picture where Luffy and Nami, and Luffy got something for Nami in his mouth. I don't know, maybe it's just me. 1091 though, one of my favorite chapters of Egghead so far. Considering all that's transpired, yeah, we got Shanks and Egghead going crazy on Kid. That definitely happened. We got Law versus Blackbeard. That definitely happened. There's a reason why for me, there's an inherent bias in regards to this chapter. Because Sabaody is one of my favorite arcs of all time. Not even just in One Piece, I'm talking about in all of anime. It actually got me to want to start to learn to coat ships. What? Either way, let's break down chapter 1091. The incursion by Kizaru has begun. I don't know why that was the word of choice. What? Incursion? It's basically starting off with the weaponized sea beast and the pacifista going against basically the Navy and the Vice Admirals. Now, I did say before that the Vice Admiral's order is going to make them look competent, at least because, well, he's not going to introduce these characters to just get folded again, right? Right? So we saw a couple of them in action, and we're gonna talk about the others, but Doll, my baby Doll, she's looking like Katakuri a little bit. Her fit was already like God Kuri, but in this chapter, she got some long legs. I don't know. Right now, I'm shipping Doll and Katakuri for no reason other than the fact that they move the same, and they make me feel the same things. Okay, hold on, that sounded kind of crazy. I didn't mean that. We also saw Mr. Chin. He used some kind of attack that made it reminiscent to Zephyr when Zephyr had that metal arm, that mechanized arm. So it either could be a devil fruit, which it doesn't seem like it. It seems like more of a mecha, or he's been experimented on, right? Like something happened to his arm. Maybe a Sea King bit it off or something at the beginning of his story. Not likely, but he used Steam Knuckle, and that's not human. We're going to get to the bottom of it eventually. Not a big deal, just something I noticed. I like in this chapter how they gave us another diagram of the authority chips in regards to the pacifista, or rather the seraphim. And this chapter, it was a lot more clearer than the last one they showed us, because the last one I was like, wait, so who's in charge? Maybe it was just me. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Either way, they sent Sentomaru to the front lines with a squadron of pacifista. A squadron of pacifista. For whatever reason, no matter how many times I say that, it does not sound terrifying. A squadron of pacifista? Okay, either way, that's what they sent. But what I loved about this chapter is the build up to it, because after Vegapunk says this, we see Usopp watching Kizaru somewhat wreaking havoc, making his way through. And they said, wait, so they sent that guy as the deterrent? I'm like, yeah, they sent that guy. Or rather, to take out the deterrent. You know that. And Nami basically confirms what we already know. It was the Navy Admiral Kizaru, and Stussy already warned them, like, okay, they're pulling up, it's a major fleet, they're not going to be here without a Navy Admiral. Them seeing it's Kizaru is one of the best things, considering just the PTSD of Sabaody. Like, Sabaody, I mean, changed them forever, changed us forever. It's one of the more important arcs in the story. That's why I'm such a fanboy, and I admit it, sorry. Brook even confirms and says that it seems like those dark memories from Sabaody has come to haunt us. And I'm like, for you it's dark memories. For me, it's not dark. It's more light. You get it. And Vegapunk, I like Vegapunk, but he's an asshole. Let me just break it down really quickly. So Vegapunk, he understands the situation. Knowing the backstory between Sentomaru and Kizaru, he says to himself, by the way, Sentomaru, oh my God, I understand the circumstance. I can understand if you want to flee. You know the crazy part about it? He understands how loyal Sentomaru is to him. That's why he tried to guilt trip him before Sentomaru decided to help him. You literally could have probably called him and said, yo, Sentomaru, all right, I know that you want to defend us, but Mr. Lightman is on the way. Come back home. Instead, Vegapunk talks to himself and says, yo, like, if you decide to flee, then I understand. He's not gonna do anything. He's not gonna go anywhere. He would die for you. Vegapunk is a manipulator.
'Cause I'm evil.
I wonder what his sign is. Either way, we transition pretty neatly to Kizaru. Not the same kick from last time, because the other kick, it felt like it was with the other leg. Sentomaru is trying to prove to, I'm not sure if he's trying to prove to Kizaru, he's proving to us, or Ushimaru from Wano, that he has the best defense in the world. Okay, I don't want to be Noah Lyles here, okay? But the best defense of what? The Navy Vice Admirals? Either way, Kizaru is somewhat playing with them. He's toying with them. And I'm like, yo, if you respect him, you're going to take him out in one shot or maybe two. But Sentomaru is, he's decent. He's doing his thing. It's funny because a lot of people are trying to power scale it, saying, well, Sentomaru can stop Kizaru. Of course, Kizaru must be weak in a route. Stop. Canon event. It was supposed to happen. Let it go. Let it go. The whole point of that happening was to make sure that Sentomaru and Kizaru had their moments. Go back. Matter of fact, Yasakami no Magatama. If I had to rank my top attacks or some of my favorite attacks in One Piece, it'll be top 50. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even think I can name 50 attacks. I can't. I can name 50 attacks in One Piece. We can name 50 attacks in One Piece. Luffy got like 40 of them. Sentomaru's holding his own though, and I thought Sentomaru was about to do something amazing because he runs and he grabs his battle axe and he charges towards Kizaru and he swings and hits nothing. Because Kizaru's a Navy admiral, and something that small, something that simple, has no chance of doing anything. What the f were you thinking? What was he thinking? It was very reminiscent to Aokiji and Marineford when Whitebeard tried to stab him. He whirled around it, then he held Whitebeard's glaive, or it's not a glaive. Somebody in the comments is going to tell me what it was. Bacento. I believe it was a Bacento. 1 second. Where did I get Bacento from? It's a Naginata. Either way, Oda is showing the difference between the Navy Admiral and I can't believe I'm saying this, Sentomaru, if it wasn't clear enough. Then we jump into a flashback. I would like to say this flashback moved me. It almost brought me to tears. I got up and walked around and I couldn't think about anything else after seeing this flashback. But then I'd be lying to you. It didn't do anything for me because it felt like it was really telegraphed. I kind of saw this coming because Sentomaru, knowing that he was really strong back then, right? And that he was so strong, he was beating up on the villagers. He was like a bully, but he's also a fat ass because he was trying to do all that, get a job to get good money. And I'm thinking he wants to help family, right? He has a young sister or a young brother, right? He wants to go buy an iPad, a PS5. My man said onigiri. Now, Sentomaru back then was already stout. All that fucking onigiri. Me and Kizaru had the same reaction because after he said, I was like, you... Seriously, bruh, for real? Guys, I cannot tell when Kizaru was being serious because he said, you were so cute. And he's saying that about Sentomaru, which he essentially saw Sentomaru grow up. And again, he's the big cog. That's what we call him, the big cog in everything. The big cog, because he gets the job done. Doesn't matter who's in the way of it. He gets the job done. But he does have a line. He does have beliefs, honor. So it's like, it's so unclear. It fits Kizaru so well. But finding out that he's the person that trained Sentomaru, it confirmed, again, like Sentomaru is legitimately a fraud. You can't walk around and say you got the best defense in the world when there's a person that taught that to you. You're lying. Either way, Sentomaru does an attack that hits Kizaru, or it seems like hits Kizaru, doesn't really do any damage, we don't think. Then Kizaru kind of undercuts him by saying, I know your defense is pretty good, but mine is nothing to sneeze at either. And then he blows him up. Kizaru then takes the authority chip that they reminded us about earlier in the chapter, and then he says, the previous commander is out of commission and unconscious. Didn't say how he got there. And the authority has been transferred to me. Now, all that shit y'all was doing, don't do that shit no more. Listen to what I'm saying. And we gotta talk about Saturn, because a lot of you guys, a lot of you gals, a lot of you niggas were convinced that Saturn was the one that was on his way and Luffy was... Guys, Saturn is still sitting in the same chair, looking like he just took a fresh dump, just waiting for a new meal. He's a fat ass. He is not leaving that ship. He doesn't even want to be seen. The people that said that, just said Luffy was sensing Saturn, they're just gonna act like nothing happened. Thriller bark all over again. Because you think Luffy's sensing this guy from that far away over someone like Kizaru? I mean, it still could be someone else. Oda could be just giving us crazy misdirection. Either way, it's not this guy.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
Sentomaru's finished.
You think? He was on the front lines with Pacifista against Kizaru. I don't know, like that was one of the more obvious outcomes ever in One Piece. What I also loved about the chapter is that they're like, yo, we can't play around anymore. Sentomaru's done, we gotta get out of here. Like, but we still have the defense of the Labo Stratum. Then Vegapunk is casually like, I don't know, because Kizaru was made of light. He can pass through that barrier any minute. Like, who's out like, wait. Hold the fuck. Hold on. You mean to tell me that he can get through the barrier if he wants? He's like, yeah. And the thing is, they keep bringing it up that Kizaru was the guy who almost wiped them out back in the day, which I love again. You guys know why. Plan is to carry the ship with Vega Force 12 across the island and use Kureber and get away. But the Strides' plans never go as planned because the Strides, they're just not planners. They're planners, but then their captain, and in the midst of all this, Luffy's just eating meat. And it seems like he could sense Kizaru was on the way, and boy, was he on the way. And then, like, after all that, they're like, emergency siren, why? Well, I can give you a few reasons, or a few particles why. Kizaru even mentioned saying, yo, Strides, Straw Hat Pirates. How nostalgic, because he remembers he treated them like a soccer team. It was crazy, or rather a soccer ball. He treated the entire Straw Hat team like a soccer ball. Get it out, Brago. That's what I was trying to get to. Kizaru then lands to where he is, and he figures out, okay, that's the power plant, Punk Records, and New York. Those are the three things, and he's now in the vicinity of them. So Oda has already built in some ways, some restriction for him, because that's something that he cannot destroy. So Oda being Oda, placing restrictions on the admirals, just on the situation, because as much as I would love a conclusion here, we're not getting one. We're just not getting one. I do think Stella could die. This is the first time Kizaru has opened his eyes, okay? Like, his eyes are open. The weed is not there anymore, but he has a goal. And we got to think about Kizaru and his history. When he has a mission, he's focused on the mission. He was trying to ignore Rayleigh to go after the Straw Hats, because that was the mission. Like, he's a cog. Either way, I'm thinking we're about to get like Kizaru going crazy. Not quite yet, because they're trying to figure out how we're going to get the ship in position before lifting the barrier, because all these things have to coincide at the right time. But boom! Swing! Go! Hattori comes out of nowhere. Stussy sees Rob Lucci. Stussy jumps in the way, of course, to block that Shigun. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. From Wano, Onigashima, to Egghead, that's been the most spammed move by CP0, or just CP in general. CP0. We didn't see any other. We saw the Cypher Pulp, but it didn't do anything. You get what I'm saying. Cersei sacrificed for Vegapunk. We know that she was basically like just subservient to Vegapunk. Whatever Vegapunk wanted, she did. I don't like where my mind just went. Let's get off that. But Rob Lucci got his get back. Today we're calling him Wabuchi, or Throb Gucci. No. Or Rob Lucci. Let's just stay there. Let's just stay there. One of the funniest panels is Lucci's just like this. He just has his finger up like, yeah, I did that. Yeah, I did that. Yeah. Let's get through this review, because I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's happening. Stussy got me acting up. Either way, Rob Lucci, he grew some balls, right? I guess so, but Luffy's not there anymore. Big Brother's not there anymore, and Unk just pulled up, so he's like, okay. Now I can do what I want to do. Oh, you were beating on me, right? Now my dad's here. What you gonna do about it, huh? What you gonna do about it? My dad is gonna beat up your dad, and we're gonna have a good time. Now I can fight you. That's literally what Rob Lucci did. And the crazy thing, he didn't even tell his little brother. Like, Kaku's like, wait. Bro, you was gonna fight? In my condition, you was gonna try to fight? Sanji put that boy in the bubble, and Zoro pulled up on Lucci like, bruh, now you wait until Kizaru pull up to grow some balls? You pussy? Which Rob Lucci's a cat. Moving on, just fun fact, Rob Lucci versus Zoro has been one of the more anticipated headcanon matchups, considering Enies Lobby and the Doriki stuff, because one of the things that people always do is compare Luffy and Zoro. And so people always talk about, well, could Zoro defeat Luffy's opponents? And Rob Lucci would come up, Doflamingo, etc. I mean, now I think Zoro's stronger, but back then, Zoro maybe was stronger. Just seeing this clash was cool. And it seems like they broke through the walls, so they're on their own. I still don't think that fight concludes, just because Oda, but Rob, you cannot lose here. But you're going against Zoro, so you're probably going to lose. It might be curtains. We then go back to Kizaru, and we see where he is. He sees the Vega Force running away with the ship, and he's like, yeah, I wonder where the ship had got to, right? And they're like panicking. They send a Navy Admiral, Luffy, what should we do? Luffy, look, wait, Luffy, where the hell is Luffy? And he knows, like, spring. Kizaru's like, And Luffy's like, hey, long time no see. And he just completely blitzes the light man, right? Blitzes him. Full on attack, black lightning, love it. Listen, this is my favorite Luffy, because it's not only about the attack, it's about what he says as well. Boy was talking spicy. Kizaru, right? Because we saw Marineford and how Luffy used Conqueror's Haki. The admirals were shook. Everybody was shook. Luffy tried to attack all three admirals at the same time. Kizaru's like, yeah. You're cheeky as ever, right? And Luffy has the coldest comeback based on the context of the story, because Luffy says, we're 100 times stronger than we were 2 years ago, Kizaru. Mind you, there's no pet name, right? There's none of that. Kizaru. He not playing with him. You sent me into the time skip, damn near. You destroyed my entire crew, Kuma, right? But it was you, bro. We knew this was inevitable. Like, I thought some others were going to get some hits in. Of course, it's not over. This was so good. Now, of course, there's some people that are going to try to deny this moment. This is a Yonko. People are going to say he's a newborn Yonko or a low-end Yonko. You know who I'm talking about. But at the end of the day, Kizaru was able to just block him casually for the most part. Luffy came and blitzed him. This is what the Admirals were created for, to contest against the Yonko. Like, it's just Admirals and Yonko. This Yonko are stronger, but I'm not going to get into that. You know the spiel. At the end of the day, this fight is not going to conclude, like I said, but amazing chapter, so many callbacks. I loved it. I loved it. Guys, how did you feel about it? I kind of saw this coming because I made a video about certain things. It's about Sabaody Part 2. Check it out.
Dear Diary, I got accused of being an AI today. I was told I wasn't a real character and I sounded soulless and lifeless. I was just excited and I wanted to talk about my favorite arc in One Piece. I wanted to try something new, like escorts on Valentine's Day, but I was bombarded with vitriol. It made me question everything. Am I an AI generator? Did Luffy really attack Kizaru first, or am I in a simulation where the Admiral agenda reigns supreme? A multiverse where I'm battling Admiral stands every Wednesday and Mihawk actually has a feat in the story. 1091 was a banger, but we got a few characters to bring to the Church of Katakuri because we're tired. Sentomaru is a bigger fraud than me. I mean, he's just a big fraud. This man has been putting on his resume the best defense in the world, knowing Unk, who taught him, was stronger. That's like the one time I got a job as a Russian translator for an airline company. Things were going well until we had a hostage situation and I was called to the front lines. I hung up and blocked my supervisor. Long story short, people, don't lie on your resume.